La automatización es el futuro de nuestra era. Alicia Carr, la directora de Women Who Code Atlanta y creadora de la primera aplicación en detectar violencia doméstica en su empresa, Pevo, en su conferencia Homes of the Future, nos compartirá cuál es el futuro de nuestros hogares en esta era de la automatización. ¿Estás listo para esta nueva experiencia? Démosle la bienvenida a Alicia Carr.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. I would love to have learned Spanish. I tried, but my life is too busy. But I am talking about the future of home automation. And what I'm talking about is what I have in my home. My husband is a fanatic. He's a geek and a nerd. And we decided to turn our home in automation, and now I can talk about it. Before I do, I want to play this video. My name is Alicia Vicky Carr, and I am 54 years old. I have 3 grown children, and then I have 8 grandbabies. And me and my husband been married 36 years. My granddaughter, she turns 13 this year. Daya didn't know what I do. So there was one day she just happened to say, "Grandma, you know nothing about tech." And I was like, "Excuse me? Did you say I don't know nothing about tech?" Google grandma name. Google grandma name, and when you finish Google grandma name, call me back. About 2 hours later, she called me back and said, "Grandma, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you knew all this stuff." I was getting my 2nd generation iPad, met this 16-year-old boy. He said, "I learned how to create an app off of YouTube," and I turned to my husband and said, "That's what I wanted to do." I took the Objective-C course, learned in 90 days, and that's when the mentor told me, maybe you should consider doing a domestic violence app. I started crying because my daughters, my mother, my aunts, all were victims of domestic violence. I would tell any woman of color, just put your hands on something that is in technology. I'm telling my grandkids, you can do anything you want, so be creative and do something that you enjoy. Grandma's doing something that she enjoyed in her life, because I want them to have that opportunity to say, you do everything you want to do. This is what I would love to see an engineer look like if a woman. Fine as hell, dressed to look like she's there to impress and not be discriminated against. I am Alicia Carr. I am a grandmother, a mentor, a nerd, an activist. I am a developer. So we're going to be talking about home automation. So as you can see, Apple has an app and it's called Home. And basically, it connects up to the Apple TV, iPad, and your iPhone. It's an app. And so with that app, you have to basically, it's the remote control for your HomeKit device. It allows them to control whatever you want to do with your device. So, for example, I can tell Home to turn on and off a light if it's added to the actual app. It uses Siri integration, and Apple Home is also available to control, your HomeKit device. So with that, Apple then has HomeKit, and HomeKit is actually in Xcode. What is it, Xcode? It's in the actual Apple format. So you have to program it under HomeKit. HomeKit is a HomeKit accessory protocol specification, and you use that to build all your, you code in there to create that HomeKit connection. So, for example, I want HomeKit to turn on a light. You have to use their product. You have to actually code that into HomeKit to do that, especially under Apple. Then you got Google Home. Google Home is connected up to Hubs, Nest and Wink, and SmartThing are the hubs. It also connects up to other products. So Philip Hughes is a hub, and so is Beacon Wemo. It was really cool because when I was at Google I/O, basically they gave us all Google Homes for free. So when I actually plugged up the Google Home, it found everything. I didn't have to add anything to it. It found it. And that's because I have also Amazon Echo. So Google Home also has, it's called Conversations. And so you can actually code and create actual triggers for your home device. So it also uses IFTTT. Apple doesn't use that. With this, you can also trigger like certain things. Like, for example, my husband triggers it with, not with Google Home, but with Amazon. He triggers like when we get home, like from a mile, the garage door, the lights, huge lights will come on and it turn purple, saying, oh, you're home, you know. So that's his way of making triggers. So this is cool when you talk about home automation, is that you can make things happen, you know, when you're not there. Like if you say, if somebody rings the doorbell, you can say, with IFTTT or with any skills or programming coding with these voice assistant, you can say, if I'm not home, trigger something to come on when somebody comes to the door. So we use, I'll get to that, but then you go back. I'm going too far. There we go. Here we go. Okay, Amazon Echo. Now, Amazon Echo created the standard. When it came out way before all this other stuff came out, and when people started to see how cool it was, Amazon basically just used it to sell their products. That's what they did. They was like, well, we'll get this voice activation, and people just buy products from us. But it became more than that. So when we set up the Amazon Echo, it was really cool. You know, it was like, you can have it play music, you can have it tell you the news, it'll tell you the weather. So, you know, that was the basic stuff. But then you got deep into it. Then my husband's like, oh, we can do IFTTT. So he started adding like lights. It could turn on and off the lights. It could basically turn on a fan. You know, we were using that to turn on our fan. It'll open up the door with the certain triggers if it's connected up to it. So it also, we had, the hubs are important. So Apple will not allow you to use a hub for their HomeKit. But Google Home as well as Amazon allows you to use your hub to connect up to all devices. So what I did was I got Wink. Wink hooked up to all my devices, and then with that, I hooked up my Amazon Echo and my Google Home with that. Why is it going before its time? Okay. Amazon Echo, please. I'm going the wrong way, am I? I'm sorry. So Alexa skills. I mean, this is awesome. They have like an app store for Alexas. And you can just go through it and figure things out. And you can create this stuff like really, really quick. Like one of my friends want to create a Alexa skills that said, he's not into me. You know, so you can add that to your Alexa, and she was like, hey, Alexa, why is he not into me? And he'll say, he's not into me because, and you can create so many things, and you could just basically download them and add them to Alexa. And the same with Google and Apple. You know, we have to work with Apple. Also, Alexa just now added voice recognition. Before, it didn't add voice recognition. So my grandbabies will say, hey, Echo, and I was like, God damn it, if y'all asses don't stop doing this. So it became a problem because with Google, it recognized just me and my husband's voice. With Amazon, it became an issue. Like, even when the TV is on, it doesn't even say Echo. And it starts talking. You know, playing music, giving you the news. And so when I was in Australia, I went up to one of the executives and said, yo, y'all have a problem. You know, it doesn't do my voice, it doesn't recognize just my voice. And he's like, oh, no, you can use third-party software. And I was like, if Google's doing it and Apple's doing it, why can't y'all? So they just now finally came out with that. So it does the alarm. And then you can add APIs to it, as you can see. But it's like one of the coolest things. I kind of love Echo, but the only problem with them is that I asked a question about the event I'm having here. When I was on the women discussion panel, it says like about something about the actual discussion we had. Amazon couldn't give me an answer. Okay, it just said what I repeated. But when I asked Google and Siri, it broke it down. So that's another problem with Amazon Echo. So I'm going, this is right. Go back. So we're talking about the smart hubs. There's smart home hubs. Nest is Google. Nest bought out Google and basically has been, they actually just put out a new product for the Nest. It's now a hub. Now, Nest is a thermostat, but it's also a hub. Then you have Wink. Now, I have Wink. Wink has been bought out, Wink just got bought out, taken over by will.i.am. I don't know why. He has no technical experience, but he basically bought the company for that. But Wink is probably one of the best hubs out there. It could connect hundreds of devices, that you want as a home, if you're doing home automation. Another thing is the Samsung SmartThing. That one's been out too, but I try to use it, but it comes to be very difficult because I don't do Samsung. But there's an app in the iTunes store for Samsung SmartThings, and I try to use it, and my husband's like, why are you trying to use this thing? It don't work for it, So the thing is that I try to give it a chance. I got to try to make it work. So these are all the home hubs that is out there right now. There's other ones, but I think these are the top of them all. So everything you see here on these two screens, I have in my house. So Luma is where it stretches your Wi-Fi. So there's parts of my house that Wi-Fi is weak, so I use Luma. Now the thing with Luma is it's also a security protection kind of device. With the software, the app, it allows you to block people from all my devices link up into Luma. So it doesn't go straight to my router. It goes from my router and then it goes right into Luma. So all my devices is in Luma. And so when you talk about Luma, it has the security access. It tells you can limit people on there. They decided to add a VPN, which they're charging for, which I'm like, I don't know why. I'm not going to pay for it. I have my own VPN. But people want that. It tells me, it gives me, I can give people permission to come on my network. It gives me a notification and say, oh, this person is added to your network, and then I give them permission to come on that network. My grandbabies have this habit of wanting to be on the iPad for up to midnight. I could put a time on that for child security. So Luma is a good one. There's another one called Erie. I had them and I didn't like them, so we took it back to Amazon and they gave me this one. Ring. Ring is my doorbell. Right now, somebody can ring, and some people have rung my doorbell or passed by my doorbell while I'm here, and I can basically see who's at my door right now. I'll show you a sample of it later on at the end. And this is cool as hell. And I can actually talk from here. So if you ring my doorbell, and I was like, oh, what do you want? No, I don't want it. Hey, you know you're trespassing on my land, right? You know that, right? So those are things that, as you're not home, that's a way to use Ring. August Lock. Now, that is at my front door. August Lock is really cool. Okay, so you have you have a visitor at your house. And you're like, oh, I gotta always be there, open up the door, close the door. You ain't gotta do that. They download the app. You give them so many days to use the app. Then when they leave, they automatically password don't work. And that's cool as hell. I'm like, okay, get the hell out of my house. Then there's Canary. Canary is a security system. One of the best security systems out there. So I'm gonna show you a sample of that one too. You put it at a spot where your door is aligned, where you think somebody may break into your house. And so you can actually go and see your house. Whether somebody, if they don't break in, you can go live and see, who's moving in the house. It'll give you a notification. So it knows my face and it knows my husband's face. And then if anybody else don't match their face, it will trigger a notification that somebody's in your house. So the grandbabies be already triggering something in the house because we ain't add their faces to the darn app. So they always notification shows up. So when we leave home, it says no one is home. It knows that we're gone. So it learns your habits or know who you are. Then I have Echo Bee. Now, Echo Bee is a thermostat. It has 2 sensors, one inside, and then it has that little one on the side. It learns your habit in the home, so cold, hot, in between. It learns your, habit. It's awesome. So I know this time I'll be freezing cold, and I told my husband, I said, I'm freezing cold. And so he'll adjust the thermostat. So it knows that, okay, so we need to adjust the thermostat at a certain time. And this is like really, really awesome. Then, okay, there's another page of stuff I got in the house. Seriously, this is really bad. Wemo Smart Plug. You see that? This right here. That's a plug. So you can plug your coffee maker, you can plug your microwave. Oh my goodness. You could just, so I don't want to get, my crock pot, this is a woman thing. So I'm like, I put everything in the crock pot, and then I go on to Wink and go into the plug, and I turn it on. And I can cook it from anywhere, which is goddamn cool as hell. And then I can turn it off at a certain time. If I really want to, I could set up a IFTTT, a trigger to turn it on and off. But for me, using it for for toaster oven, for a conventional oven, for microwave, for a coffee pot, this would be awesome. Wink Hub, I already told you about the Wink Hub. Philips Hue Light, the Philips huge light, smart light. Okay, so this bulb comes in a pack of 3. This is the colors it change it to. It can change it by the music, change it by your mood, if you want to get a little sexy, It does all that. It also, like I said, when my husband decided, he's like, we tried to use Echo, Amazon Echo, to say, hey, listen, when I get a mile to my house, I need for you to open up the garage door, right? But there was no way. We tried to code it everywhere. It wouldn't work. So the closest he came was, when I get a mile close to the house, Hugh's light would turn purple. So I know that he's on his way home. When it starts raining, the lights turn green when it's raining. It tells you the weather. This is like one of the coolest things about home automation. And so also I have switches, the C-wave switches. Okay, so those switches go into the wall. So I use it to turn off, I'll turn off my lights, because you have a bunch of bulbs, and you don't want to pay for 10 bulbs when you can just have a switch. So I have a switch in my kitchen to turn on my kitchen light, to turn off my kitchen light, or my breakfast room light, which is right next, and I turn that off and on. The fan turns off and on with it. The fan upstairs has a switch. And so, you use the switches so you don't have to buy a bunch of bulbs. Then I have the Chamberlain, which is my garage door opener, okay? I don't use a garage door opener. I use my app, okay? And sometimes my grandbabies or my daughter happens to come by the house. I don't use my August lock. I have them go through the garage door. Go through the garage door, tell kids take off their goddamn shoes, put it near the door, because it's just an easier way to open up the door. And then is the GE light. So this is generic. The GE light is a generic. You can use that with anything. And if you have, for example, one lamp in your office, you can add that to it and don't have to worry about putting the switch in there, because often, you turn on the light in the office occasionally, and I can tell Amazon or Google Home and say, hey, turn on office light. and it'll turn on off its light. So here's more things. This is more things to know, okay? Setup for the Wink was really easy. You know, it was really easy. You just go in there, you find the product, you add the product. It was really nice with the Wink. Security is very lax with these devices. So a lot of them don't have hubs. Hughes Light have its own hub, and you have to use that hub to use that light, but also you can add it to Google Home, and you can add it to Amazon. And the problem with the security is because they don't know how to set it up correctly. So I would suggest people, you know, putting it on your main router, not recommended unless you secure it. So I know people here in technology are very smart, kind of know how to set up a router, you know. And so that's where, because you're starting to see where, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. Someone bought a ring and had put the wrong email address. And we had got it added to our account. And we was like, I said, babe, look at this. We got a baby room. He's like, no, we ain't got no baby room. So we disable that. So that's where you have issues where people are not knowing how to set up these devices, and it becomes open through the internet or open through your Wi-Fi. Luma, I just said that, has the option to pay services and add VPN. You know, if you're that kind of person, and there's a lot of people out there who just don't want to, you know, set up their services and willing to pay a monthly fee, that's what they're doing. But that's what's happening a lot. So does Ring has that service, as well as Canary. So that's their way of making money and giving back after you pay $300 for a product. So with Wink, you can use the IFTTT, such as Apple triggers, such as bedtime, turn off lights upstairs. Now, there's one thing that, damn it, I forgot to add one. Okay, so Logitech Harmony has a device that is cool as hell. So, my husband hooked it up to Amazon Echo. And so I tell it, hey, Amazon, turn off TV. TV turns off. Hey, Echo, turn on Apple TV. It will turn on my Apple TV. I don't have to do, when we go to bed, we say, hey, trigger bedtime. It turns off everything. TV, all the lights downstairs, the hallway light, and then turn on all my lights. I have set it where it turns on my bathroom light, my sitting room lights, my upstairs fan, and have my lights in my bedroom at purple. So with this Logitech Harmony, if you're an electronic person and you love all the like the TV, your stereo, Logitech Harmony is awesome when you want to trigger your system to work. It even will turn on your music if you program it with IFTTT. The Ring doorbell, I love that thing. That was like my favorite thing. So, for example, yesterday, somebody came ringing the doorbell or come by the doorbell. Come to find out, my son came over to my house yesterday, because he know I don't like him. So he came over while I wasn't there, which was cool. But I was able to see who was ringing the doorbell, because it said that somebody rang the doorbell, and it had saved that video where I saw him with the doorbell, and my husband opened up the door for him. So the Ring doorbell is awesome, and I actually installed it. So you have it where you can install it with a battery, or you can install it connecting up to your doorbell. Okay, so Google also they just came out with the Google Home Mini, and they just came out with the Google Home Max. Where they just introduced, which is competing with Amazon, the Amazon Dot, and also Apple HomePod, as well as Amazon got their new speaker system as well. Then they got this ugly TV screen that looked like a darn, I don't know, it's awful. It's like the worst. Apple home devices require that you, Apple, for you to add any device, in Apple Home, you have to either scan the box or put in a code that's on the box, which is ridiculous. Before, they were requiring manufacturers who were making these devices to have chips put in it. That was stupid as hell as well. So Apple just did, at their conference I was at, 2017, they decided to open up HomeKit. So the thing is that now, not only with the HomeKit with Apple, you can actually, if you're like a developer, you can actually create your own triggers to devices you already have. So my goal right now, since this is probably my last conference that I'm trapped, well, no, I got one more. But once this is all over, I'm gonna sit down and try to see if I can get the garage door opener to open using Google Home. Well, not Google Home, Apple Home. Of course, Apple already introduced their HomePod, and you know, the thing is, you can't use Wink or Nest with Apple. Those are hubs. So Microsoft Cortana and Amazon Alexis are working together now. And a lot of people didn't know that. Also, Microsoft is working with Harman Kardon, which is owned by Samsung. So they're all working together to make it work. So Harman has already created speakers for Amazon, which is the Harman Allure, and Google has theirs. There's 3 Link speakers with the voice assistant built in, and that's Link 10, 20, and the Link 300. So again, they're knowing that this is a market to grow in. Now the thing is who's gonna be on the top? You know, the speaker thing is huge. You know, now they're trying to make the sound be good because they want you to use it as a personal speaker. But then again, I mean, I don't listen to my music on Amazon Echo. I listen to it, you know, through my TV, through Apple. So what's new with devices in the home automation? All right, so GE now is working on appliances, and so is Samsung. So if you're a person that, you know, I cook in the house, I need that refrigerator that says there's something missing in there to send me, okay, your husband just ate the last ice cream. These are where smart home devices are going. It's expensive, but I see the prices dropping. Like, for example, range and wall ovens, you can think about it. You put your food in the oven, you know, in the morning or the night before, and then right before you get home, you get it to start cooking for you, and it tells you, you know, and you put a timer on it. You could do this all from an app. This is all is going to happen in the future. You know, I mean, instead of, you know how the rich folks got everything built in, you don't need that no more. You know, you can actually, and I think I like it better where it's not built in. So if a device get old, like my Chamberlain is like 3 years old, 2 years old. So I want the new version of the Chamberlain device, because now it talks to Home, it talks to Apple Home, it talks to Amazon Echo, and it talks to Google, and it does much more. So we're looking at a lot of these new things that's coming out. So I'm gonna show you what my home automation is gonna do for you. I'm gonna show you that right now. Hold on a second. Can you see it? Yes. That's my front door. This is the ring. Okay, so just imagine if somebody was to bring my doorbell right now. I can see them. Anybody who drives by my house, it'll trigger that they drove by. Like the garbage people always drive by my house, it triggers it, you know, all the time. So this is what a ring looks like. This is what when somebody rings that doorbell, you can see them right there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bad habit. Thank you, Pat. So this is awesome. So just imagine, I mean, this is like very quiet. Ain't nobody gonna rob me in my neighborhood, but, you know, I'm just a nosy person. So just imagine if you have an apartment, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, we see, this happens a lot, like somebody leave a package there, and you see a lot of times they steal the package, you know. This is how they're catching people. Ring also have other devices, like they have one that you can put above like your garage door or a spotlight or something like that, and it'll trigger if anybody come by, it will give you show you that person. And there's one more. So this is Canary. And this is inside my house, okay? So the light is so bright because that's a foyer, but the front door is there and my garage door is there. And so, which is so cool because if you pay for the product, you can actually talk. You know, I can talk and they can talk back. I ain't giving them money for that. That's not gonna happen. So I wanna show y'all something. So I want you to look, see where the fan is? I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. See that? I'm here in Monterrey, Mexico, and I can turn on my fan. Ain't that fucking cool? So, I mean, I would, if it was a little darker, I can turn on these lights here, and which is, there's the Hughes light, but you wouldn't be able to see the lights. I can even tell it, you want me to tell it to turn on the TV? Yes. See? See TV on? Ain't that cool? I can't actually turn it to like ESPN if I wanted to. I could say Echo turn to ESPN. So that's what home automation can do where you're all over the world, anywhere in the world. Ain't that shit awesome? Yeah. So there is an app called Reverb. It came out like earlier this year, and Amazon wasn't letting you use their app to turn anything on, but this person came up with Reverb. I'm like, oh shit, let me use this. And it's better than, I mean, it's easy. You just open it up, press the button, you talk, and then it will do anything you want it to do. Much better than the Amazon app. So this is why I love home automation. This is just like a pinch of what really, really do. And in fact, I had a guy who, I air condition, we're in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. It's hot as hell, I'm sorry. There ain't no beach, there ain't there. I mean, it's hot. Everything, you have to have air conditioning for everything. Air conditioning went out. I was like, oh, hell no. So this guy from the air conditioning company tried to sell us a $10,000 air conditioning unit with the app and everything. And he was talking about how much money he saved and all this, you know, the energy he saved. And my husband's like, babe, they ain't worth it. We got Ecobee, does the same thing, a couple of $100. And we have seen the difference in cost with having that device. You know, having the Ecobee in our house, we save so much more money. So just think about the energy you're saving when using these devices. There's so much you can do to save so much energy to give back to the community, you know, because it doesn't require a lot, you know. It's just that it just costs money, but it's worth the investment. So I was talking about the Reverb app. And I'm telling you, there's things that I know that they kind of limit things for, like Google will tell you that, you know, you can't use it here till they make it accessible. But you got to think about the doorbell. I mean, I know a lot of people live in apartments. I think it's awesome to have one in an apartment where, you know, even if you're inside your house, you can actually, like, somebody pass by, you can see who's passing by, you can see, I mean, it's just, I think it's a good protection, a security protection for you. A lot of people, you know, have little cameras in their house. I think that's a real, I would tell you that's a real thing to have. If, you know, again, if you're in an apartment, especially women, you know, for your safety. And so I believe that home automation is just the best thing for security purposes all the way around. So you can follow me on Twitter. Yes, fine black woman, yes. All right, I had that damn thing for a long time. And the reason why I had it because I used to do fantasy football, American fantasy football, and I had a whole women league, and I had to come up with a nickname, and so this has been going on for years, okay? So, and then I have a blog, it's Coffee Women in Tech. I do Tech Talk, a podcast on Women Tech Talk. Also, I mean, Twitter, Instagram. I don't do Facebook unless it's family, because you know that's some drama right there. Facebook is like, you know, we don't want to do Facebook. But do follow me. As you can see, I do love what I do, and a lot of the women, if they were last night, was at my at the discussion panel, which, you know, I'm a woman activist, as you can hear. So, thank you so much. Anybody got any questions? Yes. So, I was talking about the privacy before. The only thing about these devices, you have to be able to secure your network. A lot of people don't know how to secure their network, especially the internet network. That's the most important thing. So that's why when we decided to do this, we found that if we use like the Wi-Fi stretcher that has more security in it, which allows me to log all my devices into like Luma. I was talking about Luma. So all my devices does not go through my router. They connect up through Luma. Okay, because that way I can I was able to add it. I can, you know, make sure I see it in there, and it's hard for somebody to get through that. Now, don't get me wrong, my Wi-Fi is kind of spotty, but if they all under one network, it works really good. So you have to secure your network, seriously. For that one person to not realize that they logged in their camera to the wrong email account, that's because they're not knowledgeable. And these devices, and I really think that when people buy these devices, there should be instruction specifically on how to set up your network. Because seriously, it is a serious issue when, and I mean, I hear too many stories. So yeah, I would tell you to secure, it don't have to be Luma, but if you secure your network with a proper password, making sure that anybody, you know, just not anybody can drive by and get access to it, yes, it'll work. So, I mean, this is so cool about just home automation. I mean, there's a good and bad with it, but again, we're open to this, and it's probably never gonna change. It's gonna get worse. We're giving all our information out there, so the only thing is that we pray that and hope that these companies doesn't actually allow law enforcement or anybody else get access to our data, or they're not selling it to companies, you know. So, okay, this is my whole presentation on home automation.